What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the second episode of the Flock Party. You know the vibes. I'm gonna be playing games while I talk, mostly because I haven't decided on a format for these videos. I might do regular face camera. I might do other things. Y'all can help me decide if you want to, but for now, this is what we're rocking with. Okay, this is our way later than literally everybody else that does Ravens news version of a draft recap. This coming out so old, being recorded so old. Dafe Owe has signed his 5th year option. Not signed his 5th year. We picked up a Dafe Owe's 5th year option. So yeah, I still want to do the video because I gotta get started. Gotta start somewhere. So it is what it is. Oh my god, everything on my feet. But yeah, basically do what you do. So I'm gonna start, go through each round, talk about what I like, what I don't like about each pick, uh, and then at the end, we're gonna go over just the undrafted free agents that we picked up so far. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna preface this with I don't watch college football, not for any particular reason. I just don't really get into it like that. So I haven't watched any of these guys prior to either us drafting them or somebody talking about them and linking them to us. With that being said, I have watched a decent amount of film on a couple of our guys, but only the guys that I feel like can immediately contribute. And this guy loves RPOs. So, and all right, so let's get down the list. First and foremost, we got our number one draft pick, Nate Wiggins. Now, one thing, one thing I like to go to when it comes to the draft and things of drafting nature, uh, is one thing I really feel like is important is the value of the draft pick, and the Ravens, they ranked pretty high, but I feel like the Ravens at almost every pick got just crazy value out of their pick, and by value I mean a multitude of things. You got the regular value, based off of the consensus board of where people feel like a certain player is supposed to go, and then you got the value as to what they could potentially contribute to the team, top end, down the line, and then you got immediate contributions to the squad. Nate Wiggins does checks all those boxes. Nate Wiggins had no business being there at 30, and I feel like everyone knows that. Nate Wiggins especially, and to be perfectly honest, especially if you watch my last uh my last video, uh I thought we was gonna take a tackle first round, and first night of the draft, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the draft, getting hype, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, everybody taking these wide receivers, quarterbacks, take them all, take them all, take them all, and and just before it's our time to shine, there's a serious run on tackle. It was just tackle after tackle after tackle after tackle. And I was just like, oh man, that they literally drafted every tackle that was potentially linked to us in like the 6 picks before us. As soon as it hit like I think it was like 13, 14, it was just a mean run on tackles. I was like, golly. By the time we hit like 20, 22, 24, not yeah, 22, 24, it was like it was really just like, okay, so we're probably gonna trade out. That's how I felt. I was like, we're probably gonna trade out because they took all the tackles, they took the majority of the wide receivers that everyone was talking about, and I was like, we don't really got much to do here. I did say in my last video I feel like the Ravens needed a corner high, and after watching the press conference for that night, it really it really brought to light why we even decided to go corner to begin with. And from the sounds of it, and maybe that's just EDC being good at his job. From the sounds of it, we was finna go corner that whole time. Like it really didn't matter what was about to happen, unless one of the tackles, one of the crazy tackles was there, and I'm talking like top five tackles, not like one of the tackles we liked. Uh, from just the way he was talking, it sounded like we was never finna get nothing but uh, a corner high in that with that first round pick, and listen to his explanation of it, and honestly, just looking back on the way everybody was talking about the draft and the way the draft fell, I agree because he knew they needed a corner high, somebody that could not come in right away and produce, but somebody that could contribute to the team fairly quickly. And what could that be? Oh, legal contact. Don't worry about it. We'll let that slide. But and he said there's just honestly just not a crazy amount of corners. Our next pick was at 62, so it was really just do or die pretty much as far as getting ensuring that we get a corner that could produce and come into the squad, come in and actually be a part of what we were trying to build and stuff like that. Brandon Stevens had an amazing season, but you can't necessarily count on people having breakout seasons every season. We don't know if he's going to continue that or go back to being Brandon Stevens, because I'm sure a lot of people didn't know who Brandon Stevens was before this last season. Uh, Marlowe gonna be Marlowe, All Pro Marlowe, but after him it was pretty much nobody. We had Arthur Marlette for slot, but and nickel, but I don't think he was ever gonna be outside. He's just not that. But yeah, past that we did have Pepe and Jalen Armour Davis, but they haven't really seen the field, so it was looking really dry, especially because Bradley Roby left. It was looking really dry after Milo. So at that point, it's really just do what you can. So I completely agree with the decision to draft a corner, and I feel like Nate Wiggins after that first night, I watched nothing but Nate Wiggins film. I tried to stick to film, not highlights, because obviously you can make anybody look good. And yes, he's the first round pick, and yes, bro ran a 4.28. Ain't nobody gonna forget that. But I just wanted to see what his actual strengths and weaknesses were as far as as far as the NFL, and what I felt like we could do with him and stuff. To be honest, I bro's sticky. He just on everybody. Almost every coverage snap, he's just in the hip pocket and he just lives in there. And I agree with most of the consensus about Nate Wiggins. Everybody that's done their analysis on him, like he trusts his speed a lot, and with speed like that, you can do that. That is perfectly fine. Ain't nobody gonna stop you from doing none of that. On that same note, though, I do feel like his physicality is going to catch up to him just a little bit. Ironically, because everybody says he wasn't physical, he wasn't really that physical because he's so skinny. Um, I feel like his physicality going to catch up to him just a little bit because there's a couple plays, and one of them actually is a highlight, ironically on Tez Walker, but we'll get to that. Uh, it was just straight up in the NFL. That's a penalty. That's PI, and he did make it through that whole last season with only one penalty to his name. But there was a couple times where it was like, I don't know, you got away with that one, or just something in the NFL that they will call. But I feel like that's real easy to clean up because it's really just a matter of turning your head, not even being as physical as he is, but he'll just be all up in your grill, no head turning, no nothing. That's a PI every time. And as offensive leaning as the NFL has become, he gonna get a couple of those. That's really just the long and short of it. He gonna get a couple of those, but I feel like we'll be able to coach that out of him. He's already pretty physical. Bro plays like a raven. Bro's sticky, fast, all the rest. He got all the attributes. I love the pick. Still did want to tackle, but there was no tackle worth taking at 30 by the time we got to 30. And I feel like we really got absolute best player available at that point. Moving on to our second pick at 62, we did get a tackle, Roger Rosengarten. Now, with Roger Rosengarten, I didn't watch crazy film. I watched essentially like a game or two. And I basically just agree with his draft profile as well. The aggressive pass pro, I described it to one of my friends as he pass blocks like he doesn't know how to pass block. Like in that I say he pass blocks like he only knows how to run block and he'll just get back. Like he just completely just shoves whoever's in front of him. He'll block him, push him downfield, maybe 3 or 4 yards, and then he'll backpedal, let him come back, push him out 3 or 4 yards, and then backpedal, let him come back. Like this man is just ferocious. Like he's just beating you up at that point every play, and really the most impressive thing on him, stat wise, uh, bro didn't give up a single sack his whole college career. That's crazy. Being Michael Penix's blindside right tackle because he's left-handed. That's insane. And also the most important thing, bro grew up as a left tackle. He was left tackle his whole football career, and then Michael Penix is left-handed, so he goes up and they say we need you on the blind side. Okay, fine, right tackle. So you know what that means for us Ravens. He's probably going to be starting right tackle for this season, but once Ronnie Stanley go ahead dip out, then we're probably going to put either Patrick McCary or Salah out there because everybody been forgetting about Salah too, talking about Voorhees, or Salah at right tackle because he's a right tackle, and then put Rosengarten at his initial position. And so I feel like that was a wonderful pick. Like and like I said, we late, so we got stories to go with it. The Chiefs actually tried to trade up with the Ravens, trade with the Ravens to go ahead pick at their spot. It was just a couple spots, but they tried to trade with the Ravens to pick at that spot, and everybody feels like they was about to pick Roger because they tried to trade with the Ravens. The Chiefs backed out, not the Ravens, because they was about to do it. The one trade they was thinking about. The Chiefs backed out, and then all of a sudden, after we pick Roger, they trade up to the spot right behind us, and then they pick a tackle. It was like, oh, okay, and everybody talking about they rookie tackle. It's like, oh, okay, y'all was really about to essentially get us right there. Like that would have been crazy tough. Roger Rosengarten, great second pick because I feel like we should have went tackle first, but obviously we didn't have a tackle. So I like addressing tackle at second. Um, our third round pick, this is where I feel like people start to deviate a little bit. I mean, obviously people got their favorite, so you could be mad about the first or second. But the third round, I feel like, is the first divisive pick that the Ravens had. Adiza Isaac. Um, Looking at his draft profile, I feel like he got it in him. I feel like he could be definitely not a day one contributor or even a starter by the end of the season, but I feel like he could be in rotation by the end of the season. I feel like he could really come in and make some noise by like mid season. Not come in and take over, but he could definitely be a good piece by the time we hit mid season. And with Chuck Smith at our linebackers coach, edge rusher coach, we can do whatever the freak we want. I genuinely feel like Chuck Smith is just coaching the rush master god. Like that man can do whatever he wants. He took Jadavion Clowney and Kyle Van Noy, who are both good. I'm not gonna pretend like they wasn't good. Who are both good, and gave them career high numbers. Like that's crazy. And they're both elderly at this point in NFL terms. Because They're not even that old. And gets them career highs in the NFL after they've already had such successful careers. Kyle Van Noy with a Super Bowl, maybe two, I forget. Jadeveon Clowney just being a dog his entire career. So with him being able to do that, I honestly, I honestly wasn't worried about whoever we drafted. I knew we was gonna draft somebody. I wasn't worried at all. I was like, whoever we end up with, they gonna be lucky to be with us essentially. And yeah, so while I do feel like it was a good pick, I feel like there were better picks out there. Um, for example, I still feel like we should have went guard right there. Maybe one of those tackles that could play guard or something like that. I just feel like we should have went guard at some point in this draft, and that was really just the time to do it. And but instead we go edge, outside linebacker, and to be honest, I don't hate the pick. I understand that it was him or Chop Robinson at Penn State, and Adiza actually had way more production. Not way more. He had more production than Chop Robinson at Penn State, and Adiza is way more versatile than Chop Robinson. And Chop Robinson's just he got the physicals, and it's really hard to beat the physicals. I understand that. It's just hard to beat the physicals. But yeah, Chop got the physicals, but Adiza had the actual production and versatility. Uh, so I do feel like Adiza is a good pick. I just feel like we could have picked better. Definitely don't hate it at all, but I mean it is what it is. And with that, we move on to our fourth round pick. Fourth pick, uh, Devontae Walker. First pick of the fourth round. I ain't gonna lie. It didn't even click for me at first. Hearing the stats and all the other stuff, because of course, in watching Nate Wiggins, um, our first round draft pick, I watched as much film as I could in that short amount of time. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I studied this man his whole life and I knew he was gonna be the one. Um, and watching Nate Wiggins, one of the key games everyone talks about is the game against UNC. And one of his highlights that everyone loves to bring up is how he hawked down that running back and ripped the ball at the goal line. But I'm out here watching Nate Wiggins film, and the one and only person I see him kind of sort of struggle with. I'm not gonna say struggle and whatever. He just got a couple times. That's really it. He just got beat once or twice, and one of those highlights that are just straight up penalties for him came from Tez Walker, because Tez beat him over top because he trusted his speed just a little too much, because Tez Walker runs a 4.3. Now, I ain't gonna lie, zero point 0.1 seconds is zero point 0.1 seconds. But if you ever been in a running sport, zero point 0.1 seconds is about at least 8 feet. Like that's you won that race. Okay, so with Nate Wiggins obviously being faster than Tez Walker, I feel like it's worth mentioning that the one person I noted that he struggled with, and this is after day one. I didn't even know we was going to draft him. We hadn't drafted him yet or anything like that. I was like, who is this number 9 dude? Because he's low key kind of like that. Not that he was routing Nate Wiggins up at all. It's just he just got Nate Wiggins in those times when he was trusting his speed just a little too much. That pass interference was on Tez Walker, and also one of the stats on both of them. Nate Wiggins had only allowed one catch, 20 plus yards that whole last season at Clemson, and it was to Tez Walker. So yeah, I do like the pick. I like the pick a lot. I think that was a good spot for the pick. Um, and that's if we had went guard third round. But since we didn't, you could argue a lineman there. You could argue a guard or anything at literally all these spots. So uh, Really just take everything at face value. And I think it's a great spot for the pick. I feel like he's a really good player, especially for the fourth round. And I feel like he's gonna come in another one of those players that's probably not going to come in. I don't like him to start. I don't like him to do too much, but I like him to show up and not show out, but definitely be on the team. Uh, a big thing about Tez Walker, Steve Smith Sr. I ain't gonna lie, I trust that. I trust that man, wide receiver wise, with just whatever he say is law, as far as wide receivers go. Because Steve Smith Sr. has yet to be proven wrong in literally almost every regard. That's really just the facts of it. And oh dang, GG's. And Steve Smith Sr. said on Devontae Walker, he wasn't in his top 15, wasn't in his top 20, but he does feel like Tez Walker has plenty of upside. He'll get there quick. He said Tez Walker, give him an off season, not this rookie season, but give him a season and an off season. When he comes back, he feel like he could take somebody's job. Now, it sounds pretty amazing, but you know when you really think about it, it's like who is this somebody that we're talking about? But I do feel like he could come into the Ravens and he could make some noise quickly, but not in a hurry. I don't think we're just gonna throw him into the fire like we had to do with Zay. Like Zay was a day one starter from the get go. Like I mean, that's what you hope your first round draft pick is. But Zay didn't have a choice. Zay, you're starting, all right. And same thing with Rashod Bateman, also first round pick. Now with Devontae Walker, I feel like he can literally come in and clean up the things that he's not good at, which is his short to intermediate route running, the quick choppy routes. He needs to get better at those. He said it himself. And but in the NFL level, rocking with guys like Zay and Rashod Bateman, I feel like they can get him right quick, fast, in a hurry. So I'm honestly not worried about Tez Walker. So I do think it was a good pick. I don't understand why he was able to tackle me. Let me check his abilities real quick. Uh, but yeah, good, great pick. Great tackle supreme. Yeah, that'll do it. Basically, just light a pick. All the rest. On to our second fourth round pick, TJ Tampa. Now, let me tell you something, people. I don't know who TJ Tampa is. All right, I have no clue. That's the long, short, and medium of it. Uh, I hadn't heard of him. I've seen a couple mocks with us having him, but I didn't pay attention to the man. I was just going saying, oh, that'd be cool. You know, we do need it. We do need a corner, and people are saying he's cool. All right, with us getting TJ Tampa in the fourth round, our second pick of the fourth round at that, it's really just is that's just a value pick. Like me understanding that TJ Tampa was clearly a second round talent, and in some depending on who you ask, first, you know, easy second. I feel like this is just beautiful pick, and not only does this give us all the corner depth that we need, like literally all of it, because at that point you're chilling with Brandon Stevens and Marlowe, and then you got Nate Wiggins right behind them, and then you got T.J. Tampa right behind them. Unless Pepe step up or Jalen Armour Davis step up, even though Jalen Armour Davis can play safety. I've also heard some talk about T.J. Tampa playing safety, but I don't think that's really going to come to fruition for real. That's only because of well, really the very reason he fell to us to begin with. That man ran. Yeah, that 40 was something you could turn your head on. But um, honestly, I'm still not too worried about that 40. I I don't think I just don't feel like the 40 really truly encapsulates everything that has to do with the speed of um, just a player in general. Like it's cool, it's very fun, but um, one thing everybody says when they're trying to say 40s don't matter, how often are you running in a straight line on a football field? You know, how often do you really get to run in a straight line for 40 yards unless you have the ball and you broke out, you know, or if you chasing somebody that did break out, and even then it's angles, you know. You usually not running a straight line. You're adjusting all the rest. So I feel like his football speed is definitely higher than I can't remember if it was a 4.6 or a 4.7. I just remember it was not what you want your corner to be running. So I feel like TJ Tampa is another one of those picks, just like Tez Walker. You know, no pressure to come in. He don't have to start. He don't have to come in. He don't gotta save the Ravens. But uh, I feel like there's a slight. He has potential to come in and just make like a play or two. Since we have Nate Wiggins, he's not gonna come in. He's not gonna get very many chances, especially his first year. But he still might get some chances. Is the point? So TJ Tampa, I like the pick. And on that same note, I still feel like we could have. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna say it. You're gonna hear me say it almost every pick. I feel like we could have got a guard there, or even another tackle. You know, one of those tackles that could play guard, especially in this range. Um, but I like the pick because I like TJ. Um, I'm gonna take Cobb out there. I like the pick because I like TJ just as a player, and his tape looks pretty good. He's one of those guys I didn't really watch anything on, more so highlights. With that, moving on to our fifth round pick, Rasheen Ali. Now, those of y'all in my inner circle know that I have some turmoil with this pick. Just because I feel like I know this man, I genuinely feel like that's Ali, but we just gonna have to find out. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, and past that though, on a serious note, Rasheen Ali, I like it. It's cool. You know, it's somebody that's gonna come in and probably be our second stringer. No beef with Justice Hill. It's just Rasheen is just a, probably a better running back, to be honest. It's really just like I said, long, short, middle of it. I probably should have scored that. Actually, I don't think this guy understands the clock. But yeah, Rasheen Ali, I like the pick. He's very fast. Was very productive at Marshall. Um, one of his well, two of his biggest knocks, health and fumbling. And fumbling does scare me a little bit, but I haven't seen the tape on the fumbles. I say the same thing with every turnover. Not all turnovers are created equal. There are times when a quarterback throws a pick that just straight up was not a pick. Like he threw it to his wide receiver, bro didn't try, or wide receiver bobbled it, and then that goes on his record. I'm like, man, I hate that that goes on his record, and all the rest. With Rasheen Ali, I feel like he's gonna come in. I mean, it depends on when Keaton Mitchell gets healthy, but I feel like he has the potential to come in, be a solid backup to Derrick Henry for a little bit. Maybe Justice Hill start gets that backup spot just because he's way more experienced. And Justice Hill, don't get me wrong, Justice Hill still like that low key. He still got it in him. Uh, Justice Hill is nice, basically. Is the long and short of it. He's like probably like average. Justice Hill is probably average. Rasheen Ali looks like he can be above average. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Um, yeah, I knew we was gonna draft a running back just because we need a running back and for cheap. So honestly, I like the pick and I like it where it is. I know we could have got a guard, but I like that one. I like that pick a lot actually. Moving on to our yeah, our sixth round pick, Devin Leary. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I heard Devin Leary, I was like, "What? A quarterback? knowing we got Lamar, knowing we got Josh Johnson, knowing we got Malik Cunningham, I was just as baffled as your average Ravens fan. I had no clue what we were doing. I didn't know what we were talking about. I, I didn't think there was something that should have ever happened, right? But with this video being so late, I have the advantage of having sat on it, slept on it, thought about it just a little bit. And I have something to say. I still hate this pick, but I understand it way more than I did before. I still hate the pick, but I understand it, and I feel like the Ravens is out here trying to play chess, not checkers, with these people. All right, and just go ahead. Let me get into it. Let me cook. Okay, so with Devin Leary, according to Eric DaCosta, straight up said, he basically said, he went to the quarterbacks coach, T. Higgins. He said, T, get me a backup. Go find somebody you cool with. Go find you a backup that you like, and then we'll cook from there. Okay? And T came back with probably a list of names, Devin Leary obviously on their list. Now, the reason I am not against Devin Leary being picked in general, wow, that was a really good. That was good. Oh wow. Anyways, the reason I'm not against him being picked at all is because I feel like this is where the chess comes in. I feel like this is a galaxy brain move, if you will, because with Devin Leary, do we have Lamar Jackson? Obviously. And then behind him, we have Josh Johnson. Yes. And then behind him, we got Malik Cunningham. Maybe. And Malik Cunningham, John Harbaugh said multiple times, oh, we're going to cross-train him. We're trying to mount a wide receiver. We're trying to figure this out. We're trying to see what we can do with him. Basically just doing whatever that meant. Treated him like the NFL wanted to treat Lamar, to be honest, when he was getting drafted. And I feel like Malik Cunningham is the closest we got to the closest we got to Lamar on the roster. So is that me saying I feel like he should be the backup? No, but I do feel like that means Malik Cunningham probably has a better chance at having a future in Baltimore. And with Josh Johnson being our backup right now, Josh Johnson is literally just the most experienced guy that can move a little bit. He got a little wiggle in there, but Josh Johnson is old. That's really just the long and short of it. He's old. Josh Johnson is old, and you can't keep depending on Josh Johnson to come save you, uh, because he's just a journeyman backup quarterback. Like that's who he is at this point in his career. But bro's old, You can only keep that with you for so long. You can only keep that up for so long. And I feel like Devin Leary is an investment into the future. And by investment, I don't mean he's gonna come up and be like, this crazy backup quarterback. Like, oh, I can't believe we got Devin Leary. Like he's not gonna turn out to be amazing. I feel like Devin Leary is the one person you want on your roster to never see the field a day in his life. I feel like he is never supposed to see the field. He's not supposed to do anything more than scout team, essentially. I feel like Devin Leary is not supposed to amount to much, was never going to amount to much, and never really had the pressure of amounting to much, because Devin Leary can grow to be a consistent thrower and a solid to less than solid backup for absolutely free, because NFL players are paid in the millions. He's on a rookie deal. We drafted him late, so we don't have to pay him crazy. I feel like Devin Leary can straight up just sit there. He's just gonna sit there for 4, maybe 5 years, not No, because he doesn't get a 5th-year option. He's gonna sit there for like 4 years and then disappear, or just be like Tyler Huntley and just consistently just sit there and just be there for never, because we don't want him on the field. And I feel like this season we're gonna try to get Malik Cunningham and label him as like a wide receiver or something, and just have like a low key quarterback. And I genuinely feel like that's the move. I feel like that's the reason we picked Devin Leary. I feel like that's what the thinking process is. I feel like that's why we got Devin Leary, and him especially, because I know a lot of people are upset that we got a quarterback in general, but people are also upset that we picked him of all people. I feel like that's why we got him, because T. Higgins liked him, and we're not gonna do anything with him. Like if he flourishes into a really good backup, then that would be amazing. When he doesn't, then no one's gonna be surprised. And and the reason I say I still hate the pick, although I do like the move, I like the move. I hate the pick. Um, the reason I still hate the pick is because you heard it before, and you gonna hear it again. I don't care. We could have got a guard or tackle that plays guard. We could have got we could have got we could have got our corner there instead of TJ Tampa. Even though it was great, I know the value was good. We could have got a guard there. It's just that was the time. If you're gonna have a throwaway pick like that, throw it at something nice. Throw it at something that might turn out to help. Instead of just be a placeholder. Because that's all I feel like Devin Leary gonna be anyway, is a placeholder. I Yeah, we could have got a guard. We could have got a guard. We could have got a guard in the 5th round and got our running back here. There's just so many reasons why we didn't need to be here. Um, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, moving on past Devin. 'Cause I know that's the pick most of us hate, just straight up hate. Not even hate the most, just hate that pick. Round 7, the Ravens go out and pick a center. Now, to be honest, I do genuinely feel like this man is going to end up playing guard for us if he really sees the field for any real amount of time. I don't hate the pick. Nick Samac, um, he seems like he'd be a cool guard. The Ravens have always been really good at developing linemen, so I don't think there's really anything to worry about with him. Do we have our center? Chet, you betcha. We got our center. We're not worried about center. But I feel like he's really backup center slash guard. And so I guess I don't hate the pick because we got our guard or whatever. That's really all I got to say. I haven't seen really any tape on him outside of the initial highlights, and his draft profile basically says he's cool, like bro's cool. Uh, needs work on protecting his edges, which honestly doesn't make too much sense to me as a center. But I feel like he's a nice little project that could turn out like good upside type pick instead of produce now. I don't anticipate seeing him anytime soon. Kind of like Salah. I don't anticipate seeing him for 2 maybe 3 years at the earliest. And then we're on to our final pick, safety. I almost said something crazy. Sanusi Kane. Sanusi Kane. I feel like I knew he was gonna draft a safety just because of Geno. Like I felt like we had to draft a safety because of Geno. And honestly, much like the rest, don't hate the pick. We did need a safety, and we needed a safety that entire time. I'm not mad at it. I don't hate it. Don't love it, but a lot of people don't really expect much out of the 7th round, which is why we was also hyped about Geno Stone before he left, because you don't usually hear about a 7th rounder leading the league in picks. Um, Yeah, biggest thing on Sanosi Kane, there's a video of his coach talking about him. Basically just saying like bro's a warrior, he got that dog in him, like he loves to work, loves to hit, like wish you had more players like him, and basically just a mentality thing, like uh yeah, and a good mentality is a good portion of the game. So if he got that type of head on his shoulders, then I ain't never gonna knock somebody like that. Yeah, uh, seventh round safety. I feel like the Ravens will do what they can with this. I don't think there's much to talk about, much to say, much to do. But one of those things that could work out, could not work out. Uh, he'll definitely be a really good special teamer for us, just because of how hard he plays. And you got to make a name for yourself on special teams, anyways, drafted or not. So I feel like he'll be a extremely solid special teamer for us. And so overall, I did like the draft. I like who we drafted. I like where we drafted him. I do wish we had got a true guard, but I'll take my center that is very clearly has guard potential. With all that being said, um, let's get into this honestly long list of undrafted free agents that we immediately signed, like right after the draft. Um, we got people from all over. Okay, so for those of us like me that wish they had gotten certain positions and could have got other positions, so I'm gonna just go ahead and let it be known this is just a list. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know what role they might play because they didn't even get drafted. Not to say that they suck. It's just that they just clearly was not on my radar. Because the Ravens actually are really good with undrafted guys, undrafted free agents, and both developing and just bringing them in and having them play a certain role that they could just do well. All right. Uh, so first off, we got literally just a list. I'm just listing them off and their positions. We got offensive tackle Cam Stutz from Auburn. We got wide receiver D'Angelo Hardy from North Carolina, wide receiver Tavion Robinson, except from Kentucky. We got wide receiver Dayton Wade from Mississippi. We got wide receiver Isaiah Washington from Rutgers. And we got guard Corey Bullock from Maryland. We got running back Chris Collier from Lock Haven. We got Jamion Franklin. I feel like that's a pig. Jamion Franklin, D tackle from Duke. We got tackle Darian Dalcourt from Bama. We got safety Bo Braid from Maryland. We got D tackle Tremel Walther from Georgia. I feel like these guys are still pretty low key nice. Well, not low key. I feel like these guys are like that. Well, not like that. Shut up. Uh, we got DN Joe Evans from Iowa. Played with Cooper DeJean. We got long snapper Randon Plattner from KSU. I did hear that bro is supposed to be bro is essentially a defensive player, and he just wanted to play, so he was like, put me in long snapper, I don't care. We got linebacker Yavandi Rigby. I definitely said that wrong. And we also got linebacker John McCartan from Oregon. Oh, my fault. Yavandi's from Temple. Uh, we got Oregon John McCartan. We got linebacker Deion Jennings from Rutgers. We got QB Emory Jones. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know anything about him, but I've seen him before on tape, and I feel like bro could be a nice backup. He could be an extremely solid backup. but we'll see. Uh, yeah, for Florida, we not drafted. No way you said drafted. We got tackle Daryl Simpson from Oklahoma, and we got defensive back Ryan Cooper from Oregon, and also from Oregon, tight end Riley Sharp. And we also have DB Jordan Tolles from Morgan State. And last, but he could be the least, it really don't matter. Tight end Mike Riggerman. So with all those free agent signings, you just got to keep in mind that the vast majority of these guys are, guys that maybe we liked but didn't necessarily feel like they were better than the guys that we got. Guys that we maybe planned on straight up taking in undrafted free agency, because you got to look at everybody. Um, and also, one thing you got to keep in mind is a lot of these guys are just camp bodies. A lot of these guys are going to be there for summer camp and not make the roster. We always have a couple guys that do make the do make the roster being undrafted. So it wouldn't surprise me if a very small chunk of these guys made the roster. But yeah, I feel like we you know obviously they can't. They're not going to come in and start. They're not going to come in and be an issue for too many people. Oh wow, got that fumble right back, huh? Uh, Not gonna come in and be too big an issue for everybody. They're not gonna come in and put the league on notice. But we did address a lot of positions. Uh, we did address pretty much all the positions uh, that we could have with these free agents. So if they come in and they're nice, then GG's, good job all the way around. Proud of everybody. Yeah. So this has really been my take on our draft, and also just a little bit after the draft. And yeah, get at your boy. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this game or not. No, I guess it's third quarter. I'll finish the game. But yeah, if all you really cared about was the news, so if all you cared about was the news, then this is the end of your video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the rest. Yeah, get at your boy. It's been real. So, for those of us that are still here just to see how this game ends, welcome to the party again. Welcome to the after party. Yeah, welcome to the after party. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to this game. I'm more so reporting. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. I think we got a good shot at winning. I mean, obviously I'm up right now. Um, Ooh, that was good. Guess not that good. I decline. Or will I? I'm just kidding. Yeah, really just by the time I've been wanting to get this video out for so long. I really was the only thing I was really struggling with was whether to make a video for each night or not, because I was watching the draft close every night, but I just didn't have time like that. Obviously, with me dropping this so late, I'm like I said, I'm recording it so late. Dafe Owe got his fifth year option picked up, and also just a little nugget. Uh, wow, Pat Mahomes is not that fast, but okay. Also, just a little nugget. Apparently, Rashod Bateman was never eligible. Not never. He was eligible up until this past season. Uh, but Rashod Bateman wasn't even eligible to have a fifth year option. So apparently, he was never going to get that picked up to begin with because he never had the option. Not trying to be too funny there. But yeah. So us actually going through the logistics and stuff. Not that too many people care. Uh, yeah, we actually did Rashod Bateman a huge favor with that extension. Because if we didn't extend him, he would have been a restricted free agent, and bro would have had basically just been at our mercy because he has not been producing the way everybody feels like he should have. And with that, he wouldn't have really been able to do. Oh, oh, that's so tough. Man coverage is man coverage. He was right there too. LT could have picked that, especially if they let me switch to him. But yeah, he would have been a restricted free agent, and he would have really just had to sit there and take it, with whatever we decided to give him, because no other team would, I feel, would really have tried too hard to get him, and so we really could have paid that man whatever we felt like it. So with us essentially picking up his 5th year option and giving him something else to not something else to do, but something like another year, then we really did him a favor and us a favor, because from all the reports I've been hearing and stuff like that, uh, I mean he got it in him. He got it in him. Lamar likes him and all the rest. He's just not. He just don't be healthy, and he really just. I want to say don't trust himself, but that's not what was said. So I'm not going to lie on his name, but like really just gotta let it happen, and so I do feel like Bait got a little something in him, and obviously the Ravens do as well because they keep messing with this man, and re-signed him just before the draft, and went and didn't even draft a wide receiver till the 4th round. So like obviously nobody that could really um challenge a first round wide receiver or should be able to, because maybe Taz Walker is just like, I'm so grateful for this chance. I'm going to be the best ever and go crazy. But yeah, just a little nugget right there. Apparently, Rashod Bateman didn't have a 5th year option to pick up. Now, me personally, I always said pick up Dafe always 5th year option. Let Rashod Bateman earn his check. Because no matter what you do, unless he really goes off and has like a 1,200-yard season, then we could still just pay him whatever because you still have this history, this health history that you've had this whole time, and you haven't been producing. Like you had one good year. Calm down. It's way different than Beaks because Beaks had good year on top of great year on top of fantastic year on top of like, oh my god, he's a freak year. He was just building and building. So that's a completely different situation than Bateman, who really ain't did nothing on top of nothing on top of non-existing, and then not much. And even at that point, it would have been you know nothing on top of nothing on top of non-existing on top of, oh, okay, that's good, okay, you got a little something. So I don't think his contract would have been crazy. So I feel like I genuinely feel like we was never going to pick up that option, and him signing this deal, good for the team, but also good for him. I feel like we did him a favor there, and apparently it was because of just a little misstep on maybe his agent's part, because I didn't even say that, but the reason he was ineligible, yeah, that's just unfortunate. Bro got no get off, so I read the play wrong. The reason he was ineligible to begin with is because who? Oh, that was nasty. Is because he only accrued 2 league years, and the NFL doesn't count any league year to where you didn't report to your team by the mandatory preseason date, and he basically just showed up to camp too late to count for that league year because he was already hurt coming off of surgery, and basically like that made the whole 5th year option null and void. and that really just sucks for bro. And honestly, I feel for him. Like that's just rough, gang. And but luckily, the Ravens are people. Not it's not. It is a business at the end of the day, but the Ravens aren't. The Ravens aren't exclusively a business at the end of the day, if that makes sense. Uh, Let me just go to True Clock. He gonna have to see me at OT. Um, oh, he see it. He see it. Is he gonna do something about it? Nope, cause I'm going the other way. Stupid. First down. I really did not need a first down there. Actually, yes, I did. No, because now he can just stop the clock. But yeah, he showed up to camp 2 days late, made his whole everything null and void, basically. Um, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be so funny. Watch this. And so yeah, that's really all there is to say. I'm just keep forgetting what I'm saying and bagging back out. Oh my God, Eric! That was rude. That was disrespect. Why would Eric? That was exactly what Saquon did to that one dude. Oh my goodness. You know, juke. Touchdown.
That's some whole ass shit.
Uh, let's see what we got. I actually didn't even realize I was in game chat this whole time. What did he say? He said small or slow? I like bro. He plays like a Raven. Only a genius takes that out at that point. Do, 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 do. It's been, he make his adjustments, boy. You gotta beat it, cook it, cook it up, cook it up. Boop. And that was your one timeout, brother. Oh, maybe he came in the game chat because he lost. That happens sometimes. Oh, he said run it. Who got that? Of course, K Ham got that because K Ham is him. GG's, man. GG's. Well, that is the end of the video. Uh, Once again, like I say, get at your boy. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Tell me what you're trying to see. If anybody got any opinions on the draft that they like to share, any post emotional opinions, uh, since we dropped it so late. Yeah, just interact, I guess. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, all the rest. Peace out.